The thief was already at the gate. Beneath the cracked earth of the African savannah, 3 newborn lives slept in darkness, blind to the danger stalking toward them. The den was silent except for tiny breaths and the distant whisper of wind sliding across dry grass. But outside, death had already arrived. A spotted hyena stood over the burrow entrance, its yellow eyes burning with hunger. The scent of milk. Fresh blood. Weakness. Its massive jaws opened slightly as it listened for movement underground. The prize lay only inches away. 3 helpless cubs, days old, hidden beneath a thin layer of dirt and stone. Easy prey. Easy meat. The hyena began to dig. Claws tore through the hardened earth in violent bursts. Dust exploded into the air as chunks of dry soil flew behind him. The entrance was narrow, too narrow for his shoulders, but hunger made him relentless. Every second brought him closer to the trembling life hidden below. Inside the burrow, the cubs whimpered softly. Then the wind changed. Far across the savannah, their mother froze mid-step. A scent drifted toward her like smoke. Hyena. Instantly, her body tensed. The honey badger spun toward the den, her short legs already carrying her into a furious sprint. The ground blurred beneath her claws as terror ignited every instinct inside her. Ahead, the predator was already tearing into the nursery roof. The hyena dug harder, widening the gap. Loose dirt collapsed inward, exposing flashes of tiny movement below. The cubs wriggled deeper into the darkness, but there was nowhere left to hide. Then the badger arrived. She exploded from the dust like a creature possessed. The hyena barely had time to turn before she slammed into his face with savage force. Teeth snapped. Dust erupted. The giant predator staggered backward in confusion as the badger attacked without hesitation. She was tiny beside him. But fear had made her fearless. The hyena recovered quickly, with one brutal snap of his. But before we continue, if you love incredible animal stories and wild moments from nature, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment below. Your support helps bring more untamed stories from the African wilderness straight to your screen. Now, let's return to the battle for survival. Jaws, he seized her body and lifted her clear off the ground like a rag doll. Her legs kicked wildly in the air as he shook her with crushing force. Yet the honey badger did not scream. Her skin was loose, thick, almost rubbery, built by nature to survive bites that would kill most animals. Twisting inside her own skin, she turned toward the very jaws holding her. Then she bit back. Her teeth clamped onto the hyena's muzzle with terrifying determination. The predator growled and thrashed, trying to throw her free, but she held on like an anchor buried in flesh. The cubs were still behind him. Still in danger. The hyena tried to ignore the pain and push toward the den again, but the mother badger refused to release him. Inch by agonizing inch, she dragged the larger predator backward through the dirt. Dust swirled around them in choking clouds. The cubs scrambled deeper into the safety of the tunnel while their mother fought like something far larger than herself. Finally, the badger broke free and darted back into the burrow entrance. But the hyena remained, standing over the den, waiting. Inside the darkness, the mother curled briefly around her trembling young. They pressed against her body, seeking warmth, safety, life itself. Every instinct told her to stay underground. But she knew the truth. If the hyena stayed at the entrance, her cubs would never be safe. So she turned back toward the light. The honey badger emerged once more, not to flee, but to draw the monster away from her children. The hyena lunged instantly. Jaws slammed around her body again, lifting her effortlessly into the air. To the outside world, it looked hopeless. A creature barely a fraction of his size hanging helplessly between enormous crushing teeth. But appearances meant nothing here. The badger twisted violently, using her loose skin to turn within his grip. Even while suspended, she fought with terrifying aggression, clawing and biting toward the predator's face. The hyena dropped her. She hit the dirt running. Again she charged. Again she attacked. The battle became a storm of black and white fury against spotted muscle and bone. The hyena rushed the burrow entrance repeatedly, desperate to end the fight and claim the cubs hidden below. Each time, the badger met him head-on. She became the living gate of the burrow. A wall of teeth. A mother transformed into war itself. Then her tactics changed. Instead of targeting the jaws, she dropped low beneath the predator's body and struck at his feet. Her teeth tore into the sensitive pads of the hyena's paws, a place even powerful hunters struggle to protect. The effect was instant. The hyena jerked backward with a sharp cry, limping away from the entrance. Blood darkened the dust beneath his paws. Still, hunger tempted him to continue. The cubs were so close. One final rush could end it. But pain is a language every predator understands. The badger stood in the tunnel entrance, breathing hard, body coated in dirt, eyes burning with pure defiance. She looked exhausted, broken, yet somehow unmovable. The hyena stared at her for several long seconds. Then slowly, he backed away. The giant predator turned and limped into the savannah, stopping only once to lick his wounded paws. His hunger remained, but the price had become too high. Behind him, the fortress had held. Deep underground, the mother curled around her cubs once more. Safe at last, the tiny newborns pressed close against her chest while silence returned to the den. She was battered, exhausted, but victorious. Because on the African savannah, size is not always the true measure of strength. Sometimes strength is a mother refusing to surrender. Sometimes courage is standing alone at the gates of darkness and deciding that fear will not pass. And even the mightiest hunters learn that there are some hearts too fierce to break. Across the hot and shifting landscapes of Africa, survival belongs to creatures willing to endure impossible odds. Long dry seasons bake the ground beneath a merciless sun, while short rains awaken the grasslands only briefly before thirst returns again. In this unforgiving world, spotted hyenas have evolved into masters of endurance. Their bone-crushing jaws can shatter skeletons and digest almost every scrap left behind by other predators, turning death itself into energy. Living in powerful clans ruled by dominant females, they rely on cooperation, intelligence, and communication to survive where weakness means starvation. Often misunderstood as simple scavengers, hyenas are actually skilled hunters capable of chasing prey for long distances until exhaustion brings collapse. Hunger never rests here. Competition never ends. And survival belongs to those willing to seize every opportunity. But hyenas are not the only hunters shaped by hardship. Not far away, another drama unfolds beneath the blazing African sun. A pack of African wild dogs crowds around a fresh carcass, their painted coats flashing as bodies press shoulder to shoulder. The air fills with high-pitched chatter and snapping jaws as they tear meat apart with incredible speed. Every second matters. Because on the savannah, a kill never belongs to one predator for long. Through the drifting dust, a lone spotted hyena approaches. Slow, confident, unafraid. Its ears twitch toward the frantic feeding sounds while its nose locks onto the scent of blood. The wild dogs snarl and bark warnings, circling nervously around their meal. But the hyena does not stop. It pushes straight through the bluff charges and snapping teeth. The heavier predator reaches the carcass, clamps its jaws around the remains, and drags the stolen prize away through a storm of furious protest. The wild dogs follow briefly, yelping in frustration, but none dare commit to a full fight. For them, the risk is too great. A broken leg, a deep wound, one serious injury could mean death during future hunts. And no carcass is worth gambling the survival of the pack. African wild dogs, also known as painted wolves, are among the most efficient hunters on Earth. Built for stamina rather than strength, they can maintain high speeds over long distances, slowly exhausting prey until escape becomes impossible. Unlike solitary predators, they hunt as one mind. Every movement coordinated. Every chase shared. Their success rate surpasses that of many larger carnivores, making them extraordinary survivors in one of the harshest environments on the planet. Yet even these remarkable animals face an uncertain future. Habitat loss continues shrinking their territory. Human conflict, roads, snares, and poisoned carcasses threaten entire packs. Worse still, diseases like rabies and canine distemper can spread rapidly through their close-knit groups, wiping out generations within weeks. In the wild, most African wild dogs live only 8 to 10 years. Many never even reach that age. On the savannah, Life is fragile. Every hunt carries danger. Every meal is earned through risk. And every sunrise is another battle against hunger, predators, disease, and time itself. Yet still they run. Still they fight. Still they endure. Because Africa rewards only one thing above all else: the refusal to give up.